Now that we have our truss set up, we're ready to start laying out our panels. Don't worry, we're almost halfway through and the hardest part is already done. Now it's time to have some fun. In here are where we're going to keep our video wall panels. This particular set comes with 10 in each box. You must always take care when handling these. They are very fragile. The corners easily get damaged. Don't remove one from the box until you're absolutely ready to put it up. Don't remove them and just line them up against the wall. When removing the panel, make sure you go straight up. Even rubbing it against the side can damage these little pixels that are on here. Each one of these little dots is like a light bulb. So when one of these gets damaged, you'll have black spots in the screen when it turns on. So you always want to be very careful how you're handling these. First thing we're going to want to do when setting up the panels is to make sure that we get the amount of clamps that we're going to use. We're currently setting up a wall that is 6 feet tall and 10 feet wide. So we're going to be using 4 clamps to secure it to the truss. This is a C-clamp with a bolt. This is what we use to secure the panels to the trussing. For a video wall that's 28 panels, which is what we're doing, 6 feet tall by 12 feet wide, we're only going to need 4 of these clamps to secure it to the wall. So what we do is we take out our clamps, lay them out, make sure that they all match. The sizes match of the clamps. We make sure the sizes match because we don't want the wall to either lean forward or back. Sometimes we actually do want it to lean forward or back. If the base that the video wall is going on is very uneven, then we'll use a shorter clamp at the top or a longer one at the bottom. But for our purposes, since we actually spent the time to make sure that it's very level, we want to make sure all our bolts are the same sizes. And the way we do that is to lay it out, put one on top of the other one, and then make sure the sizes match. See, now I have my 4 bolts ready, and I'm ready to secure my first panel to the truss. Once again, when I'm removing the panel from the box, make sure that I'm going straight up and taking care not to rub it against the side and damage any of the pixels. What I'm doing now is I'm going to attach the first clamp to the back of one of the panels so that I can structurally put it up. Because we're building a 28 panel video wall, we're going to do 7 across on the bottom and we're going to go up 4 high. So for our first one, we're going to go on the back and we're going to screw it in to the top left hand corner, like so. Open the clamp and screw it in. Not too tight where it pushes out the panel, just enough that it's snug in there and it's going to hold the video wall up. The clamps don't hold the weight of the video wall. What they do is they hold the video wall from tipping over. The video wall is supported by the base that it's on, going up and down, not back to front. That's why you don't have to make sure that this is super tight. So now that I have my first one secured, I'm going to take my panel and secure it to the truss. The first one where we place the clamp is very important because it sets the way the rest of the video wall goes. So the first thing we're going to do is open the clamp, like so. And we're going to place it in front of the truss. We're going to push it up so that it's in place with the truss like so. Now we're going to close the clamp and tighten it. As with the screws for the legs, we're going to tighten it, but not overly tighten it. Just enough that it's secure because we want to be able to get it off later. Now our first one is secured. Now I'm going to get another panel out of the box and I'm going to secure it to that one. You see the locks on all 4 sides. These secure it up and down. These on the side secure it left to right. So for the bottom panel, we're going to secure it to the left to the right. So I have my second panel, lining it up against the first panel. And you'll see as I'm lining it up, it's not flush. This is too high, so I'm going to remove one of these acrylics to get it to be flush. Now you'll see that it's perfectly even and I can continue building my wall. I line it up where it's exactly next to the one next to it. Then I'll push this lock through. I'm going to push the paddle up, make sure the panel is lined up, push it through, and then we're going to push the paddle down as such. And we're going to repeat the same thing on the bottom. Paddle up, push it through, down to lock it into position. Now the two of these are one piece. See how secure it is? When it's locked together, now it's not two panels, it's one panel. Now we got a flow going. I'm gonna take my third one. Again, I'm lining it up, making sure that it's flush with that one. Paddle is up, push it through, paddle down to lock it into place, paddle up, push it through, lock it down to push it into place. Now my third one is going. See, now we really have a flow going. Let's do number 4. And now we're also going to have a measurement problem possibly. Remember, when I say that we use shims to make sure that this matches this. So again, when we push this one to this one, we're going to make sure that this panel is flush with the top of the one next to it. If it's not flush, the bigger you go, the more problems you're going to get building your video wall. You're going to want to repeat the position that this one is locked, or this one is secured to the truss. I'm going to repeat that on this truss. If you go around and you'll see it's not quite lined up right where it's supposed to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Gavin push the truss over a little bit to make sure that it's lined up and I can put the clamp in. When it's locked together, it's essentially one piece of video wall. Yes, it's a little bit heavier, but it's still one piece. So I can take this handle, lift up the entire row while Gavin pushes it over to make sure that it matches where I'm going to put the clamp on. This hole needs to be lined up with where this is so that way we can secure it to the video wall. Gotcha. So what I'm going to have Gavin do is push it over so that this hole is straight with the truss so that we can secure it. And while he's doing that, I'm going to lift this so that it doesn't scrape the video wall panel. And sometimes it's only just ½ an inch. It doesn't have to move 100 inches. So now that I have it lined up, now I can secure my clamp. Make sure the clamp is open. I'm screwing this bolt into the top right corner of the securing hole. Again, not too tight, but secure. Now I'm going to pull it back out, make sure the nut is flush inside the clamp, make sure it's straight. Now I'm going to grab the video wall and push it towards the truss. It's still a little bit off, so I'm going to have Gavin move it this way just a little bit, just like ½ an inch. There we go. Now it's flush with the truss, and now I can secure it to the truss. And now we're going to tighten this one, but we're not going to make it too tight. Just tight enough that it's secured to the truss. Before I put on any more panels, I'm going to check the positioning of the wall, make sure that it's still in the center. Moving it, you see this came off a little off center, so I'm going to make sure I push it back in the position that it was. I've got 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So number 3 is the center. I'm going to use this handle as the center, so I need to match this up to where the center is. So the whole wall needs to go this way. And in order to do that, Gavin is going to go on one side, I'm going to stay on this side, and we're going to physically push the entire thing over to the center. Always do this with a person. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You see how it just slides? And you can do this when there's only a few panels. If you build an entire wall, do not attempt to move it. And now we're centered. Now we can put in our final 2 panels on the left and the right. So again, I'm grabbing a panel out of the box, making sure I take care to go straight up. Going next to it, I'm lining it up. Top to bottom, make sure it's lined up, front to back. Make sure it's lined up, push the paddle up, push it through, and then pull the paddle down to lock it into place. Now the hardest part is done, the first row. Now we're 70% done with our video wall, physically. You see how sturdy it is, and it's together and nice and level. So for the next row, we're going to start in the middle and build it in a pyramid shape. We don't necessarily have to do this with a smaller video wall, but it's good practice to do it, because when you get to the bigger video walls, you can't build it line by line. They have to be built in a pyramid shape, or else they won't lock together properly. So what I'm going to do is take one panel, go around the back. I'm going to line up the holes, Place this one on top, like this. And it's going to be the same as from the sides, but only from the bottom. So push the panels toward the right. We're going to push it up, then towards the left to lock it into place. Push it up, then towards the left to lock it into place. Now it's locked into place. I'm going to repeat with one here and one here. So now again, I'm lining up the holes, nice and flush. Paddle to the right, push it up, towards the left to lock it into place. Push it up, then towards the left to lock it into place. Before we were doing one side, now we have to make sure all the sides are locked into place. We already did the bottoms, and now we have to lock it side to side. Paddle up, push it through, put the paddle down. Paddle up, push it through, put the paddle down. Now the reason I do a pyramid is because the bigger it gets, it's easier to get them to lock together when nothing's touching. If you go left to right, it's fine on a smaller video wall, but once you get to the larger 50, 20 feet high video walls, you have to do it this way in order to get a good lock into place. So my strong recommendation is no matter what the video wall is, always do a pyramid. As the wall starts to go up, you can't see in front of it, so that's why there's someone on both sides. This is our last one for the on this side for the second row, locking it into place. So now we're ready for our third row. We're going to finish starting from the middle, going right to left or left to right, whatever you prefer. We're going to match where we put the clamp on the first row on the third row. So because we put it on the top right of the bottom one right here, we're going to match this one on the top right on this row with the clamp to secure it to the truss. So we're going to open the clamp, push it down a little so we can screw it in. And we should put the clamp on somewhere where it's secure on the floor, so that way you can get it straight in and not fight with it when it's up. I like to put it between my legs to make sure that it doesn't fall and it's nice and secure. And when I put it down to rest on the stage, I'm being super, super gentle with it, like extremely gentle. And I'm cradling it with my knees to make sure it doesn't fall. I'm opening the clamp. Instead of securing the sides first, because we need a little bit of give back and forth, we're going to secure this clamp first. We're going to secure it to the clamp, to the truss before we secure the other side. So now that we make sure that is secure, now we're going to lock the sides up, push it through, pull it down. Paddle up, push it through, pull it down. Now that's secure, now we can finish our row. Working with two people is important because as the wall gets bigger, you can't see on the side of it. So he's going to stay on this side and pass me the panels. I'm going to stay behind and actually secure them in. He also, being in the front, can help me make sure that it's lined up properly before I get to secure it. So for this one, take the panel, and I'm going to put the clamp in. I'm going to match it to where it's on this side. Versus that one where we did the top right, this one is on the top left. So on this one, we're going to install the clamp on the top left. And with the other side, I'm not going to lock the sides just yet. I'm going to close the clamp and lock the clamp to secure the clamp to the truss first before I lock the sides into place. Now that this panel is secured to the truss, I'm going to lock the sides together. It's not fully flush on the front, so I'm just going to use a little bit of force with my fingers like this, line it up, push it through, panel down. Now it's locked into place. Paddle up, push it through. Now it's locked into place. And now that this is the last row, it can go either way, left to right. We don't have to finish with the pyramid because this is the top row. So we did all the hard work by making sure all the rest of our panels are together and level. So now we have an easy time just laying out the top row. Sometimes you might need a ladder as the walls get bigger. This is only a 6-foot wall, so I don't necessarily need a ladder for this. But for an 8-foot wall, absolutely make sure you have a step ladder or something, because how else are you going to reach it? I'm a little short. Maybe you're taller than me, I don't know. We're on the 4th row, but because we've already secured it from the 1st and the 3rd row, the 4th row does not need a clamp. If I was going up another row, I usually tend to skip a row with my clamps. So if I had 5 rows going up, I would do the 1st row, the 3rd row, and then the very, very top row I would do. And with this, we are physically done setting up our wall. Now it's just wiring it and doing the data lines.